Welcome to the No Name Podcast, the podcast where we can't think of a name, so we've called it No Name.
My name's Cameron Craig.
My name's Aleastar Caesar.
Now, recently, it has been Mental Health Awareness Day. So to aid that, we're just two chaps sitting down, having an unfiltered conversation. We're going to touch on multiple things. Our own mental health, our passions, what we do to keep our craniums in tick.
But, first of all, before we get on to that, Bivol and Berta BF, we've got a lovely boxing card to discuss for a few minutes before we jump onto the deep stuff, guys.
Full card at main events.
What should we go through each fight? One at a time and just say what we think?
You can do. Obviously, there were two parts before Ben Whittaker, but we can go straight into Ben Whittaker falling out of the ring. And did he quit or not?
He definitely quit. It's hard when you say did he quit, because is he a pussy who's like scared to fight and stuff? No, like he could have continued, but you've got to make a tactical decision. You're going to get bit like he could have won the fight, but it wasn't it was a 50-50 fight. He could have got beat up a little bit. Are you gonna risk yourself and your health for when you can get out of there, live to fight another day? I think he made a tactical decision. I think that it was the wrong decision. I think it makes his brand not look very good. But
there were no showboat in the whole bout. You could sense that he stepped up a little bit on the night. And this was meant to be one of the challenges he just got through again. If he's as good as he says he is.
He changed his style and it just obviously didn't work for him. So I think in his brain, let's get out of it, regroup, and then next time just come in as my normal self, my normal showboaty, flashy, counter punch.
We'll bloody see the rematch. It's going to be made. We'll see what happens there. We went into Sky Nicholson next, fighting Raven Chapman.
There's not much to say about the fight. She just did what she needed to do. It was a bit of a boring fight, bit of a chess match.
First ever title fight in Saudi Arabia. Is Saudi been good for women's boxing? That's the question. I mean,
it's the first women's fight, so it's not been good for him, has it?
No, and he was on his phone. Was there? His Excellency was on his phone for I think he left at one point. I don't think it's very popular over there, women's boxing. I
just don't think it was the fight to make for the first fight in Saudi Arabia. You want like a Serrano,
Sky Nicholson might be in line for a shot at Serrano soon.
At least if you had like Ebony Bridges, at least you've got the.
She's pregnant.
At least you got the wow factor there,
She can't fight at the minute, can she?
I didn't know that. New information.
My sources have told me.
And who's your sources? Baby Daddy, do you know him?
Yeah, I went to school with him.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was he like?
We went to the same school, so.
I don't remember him. What was he like?
I don't have any sources. Just the fact that I've heard her say she's pregnant on a video.
Is this what you turned into now? Just
fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
Just getting the viewers in.
Slagging me off.
I've done a bit of that. Yeah.
I'm not happy with you. This might be the first podcast beef.
You play the character well. You play the bastard well. Just swore. That's us demonetised. Today's video is sponsored by Drainage Services. Get the cap off.
Oh no, you're not showing me my eye. Right, anyway.
I've got alopecia.
What the hell, look at that? 3 minutes 20 seconds of us guys chatting shit.
I've got alopecia and he won't show his hair.
Yeah. Alopecia apparently, it's in his head. Right, anyway, what's the next fight?
On the back of my head.
Frazier.
Incorrect. We went into Eubank next.
Oh yeah, Eubank. I've got an unpopular opinion here because everyone seems to think like, oh, he was weight drained, you could see it on him, and that's true. But it didn't affect him, did it? He still got through it quite easily. So obviously, an unweight drained Eubank, I think, is a problem. I really do.
Do you want to see the Eubank Ben fight? Ben got in the ring. Yeah, it was a big one. Problem with Eubank is whenever he stepped up to the top level, it's not good to plan for him. So how good is Eubank? Is he with his experience? Does he have no trouble with Conor Ben?
I agree with what you're saying, but Conor Ben isn't the top level in my opinion.
No, it's basically the easiest fight he could have for the most money. Obviously, he's got the Canelo fight on the cards and all stuff like that. But he's seen Conor Ben, the history with the dads, and he's thought, you know what, the British public, when they got in the ring, I was bloody loving it. Neymar in there,
I think that's what he should do. I think Canelo's aging a bit now. Obviously, that keeps getting thrown around. I think he takes the Conor Ben fight, gets the money, and then just goes out of Canelo afterwards. He'll have the opportunity. They'll give it him. He's a big name.
Conor Ben stops him, he won't. You can't write Conor Ben off. I know he's not stepped up to this level, but he's a hell of a puncher.
No, I don't know.
Depends what weight it's at as well.
Yeah, my worry about it is that he seems to keep taking these like weight drains. That like, this is why his dad has an issue, isn't it? Because he keeps fighting at too low of a weight, and I don't get why he keeps doing it because it's obvious that it's not working for him.
Next, we're going to how good is Fabio Wardley? That is the question.
Do you know what it is? I've got a pretty similar opinion to a few that I've seen actually. I think it could have been easily been a 50-50 fight. And sometimes in these round one stoppages, you don't actually get to see. Like, obviously, someone just gets hit with like a stunning punch. It just ends like that, and you don't get to see what it is. He could have won it. He could have won it later on, or he could have lost it. You don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I was a bit flabbergasted at the lack of respect that Wardley got ever after it. They were talking about the possibility of now Fabio Wardley fighting top 15 fighters. Liam Smith on commentary was like, he's not ready for that, he's not ready for that. Why is he not ready for a top 15 opponent? You can't tell me what Fabio Wardley can't get in there with Otto Wallin or something.
I just don't think he has the technical ability. I think he's just a brawler, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And you notice with these guys, they can do well, but as soon as they're at the top level, they get found out. Dillian White, do you know what I mean?
They've not had bad careers, though, have they?
No, but as soon as they get in there with the top guys, they get battered.
Well, yeah, but
what has happened to Dillian White? Sorry, completely off topic. What has happened? Is it the drug thing? Is that why he's gone off?
His name went downhill since that. I think he fought. God, who did he bloody fight?
He won it. I remember. He won his last fight.
He had a fight not so long ago, and it was just a low level sort of bout.
He didn't look incredible.
I mean, apparently he wants the Derek Chisora third. Chisora's having like one or two more fights.
Yeah.
So apparently they might do White Chisora one more time.
Do you put him in there with anyone big?
I don't know. They were all on about if White promotes Wardley, but they would have done White versus Wardley if it wasn't for the fact they were so close to each other. But yeah, it seems like. I mean, he's gone now. He probably has one or two bouts left. I feel like it's not a bad way to end. Him and Chisora, bloody Manchester Arena, one last time. Say bye to them both. I think Derek Chisora has his best chance of beating White.
I think Derek Chisora could do it. He seems to be doing quite well at the moment, doesn't he?
Had no trouble with Joyce. I don't think Joyce really hurt him at one point in that bout. Obviously, Joyce hasn't been the same since the two Zhang knockouts. I think. You're going to massively disagree with me on this as well. I know you are. I'm probably one of the only ones here, but I think Derek Chisora gave Usyk one of his best fights. I don't think at any point Derek Chisora was hurt at all. AJ struggled more against Usyk than Chisora did. I remember watching it on the night. I gave 8 rounds to Usyk, but I do. It was competitive, and I think Usyk even came out, if I'm not wrong, at one point. And mentioned it, it was one of. I thought it
was close to that. I had it like 7 to Usyk, 5 to Chisora, something like that. I had it closer than that. I had Usyk winning, obviously. But...
Oh, speaking of decisions, they go on to the main event. You scored it to Arthur, didn't you?
Yeah, I just don't get this thing about robbery. It's like I'm one of them. If you want to give it to Bivol, I disagree. I think it's a couple of rounds to Biev, but I'm not gonna go mad and call it a robbery if you did give it to Bivol. But it's not a robbery the way around.
116, 112 scorecard.
I think
given 8 rounds.
No, yeah, I agree, but it's just every round was so close. I mean, it's hard to score because there was the amount of rounds there where you like that could have gone either way. They've probably just given like 8 rounds where it was like nothing, innit?
Well, we spoke about briefly on TalkSport. Do we think it's getting to the stage now we need some sort of VAR system for scoring the rounds in boxing? You look at every single bout. I mean, you go to every little bout now. One of the judges sees it differently to the other two. You look at the AJ Usyk bouts. I mean, the second bout was given a split decision. One judge gave it to Anthony Joshua, and I gave Usyk about 9-10 rounds. I mean, Fury, one judge gave it to obviously Fury Usyk was a lot closer than Joshua versus Usyk, but I'm saying, again, the judges weren't on the same page. It's every single bout now. The judges see it differently.
I couldn't be more against VAR when it comes to boxing. I'm very much boxing subjective. It all depends what you see. With Bivol and Biev, for example, Biev was the more on the front foot pushing the fight, whereas Bivol obviously had the more technical shots in the fight. But obviously for me, I think you have to go out there and show you have to win the fight. You have to push it. So that's why I give like ring generalship and stuff. That's why I gave it to him. It's all about your personal preference, and I think you can't take that away. It's like the amount of issues football's had since VAR's come in. They always get the wrong decisions. I don't want it to be one of them where like 2 minutes after a fight's finished, no, changing the decision because we've just noticed this on the film. Some things just don't need to be changed for me. And we've never had an issue with boxing over the years. The amount of champions we have, we don't look back at Lennox Lewis and go, oh, he won his title unfairly because of this. I just don't think you need to mess around with things.
The thing is I do agree. I gave the fight a draw of the night. I gave it a bit of a cop out, and it isn't that big of a robbery. We've seen far worse, where the uproar was quite necessary.
But I don't.
It seems like predominantly the uproar was over that 116, 112 because everyone has come out saying how tight the bout was. But that judge had it completely.
But if the fight was supposed to, if one fighter was supposed to win the fight, and that fighter got a stupid landslide on the scorecard, but he was supposed to win, does it matter the right fighter won? At the end of the have you seen a lot of?
I don't think if I had to give it a winner, I would have given it Bivol.
He just didn't look like he did enough.
He just did the better boxing. I mean, if you watch the highlights from the bout. All the best moments I felt were. You
got to think as well. It's in the judges' memories. The last thing they saw. That's why you've got to end the fight well. BF took the last 2 rounds convincingly. So do you know what I mean? It's that's the last thing they would have remembered as they were scoring it at the end.
And to slightly link it into mental health, you've seen a lot of boxers recently. I mean, I watched the Four Kings podcast.
Did you see him about his wife, Bivol's wife?
Yeah,
ex-wife. That's mental. She was sat there watching it on a live stream, basically cheering the other dude on, cheering BF on, going, "Oh, this is karma" and stuff. That's his mental. Do you think that had anything to do with the performance? I don't, because I thought he looked incredible on the night personally. So I don't think it had any interference at all.
Bivol's not one to make excuses. I think. His Excellency came out on the night and said he thought Bivol won. That's what he said. So he really wants the rematch. So I think we need a more conclusive winner.
I don't think he's the golden child, but a lot of people do like Bivol, though. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of them. It was very different in today's boxing world. It's all about who can slag off the other opponent much, who's got the better mind games before it. This weekend was just all about boxing. It was just a chess match. There was no beef. Bivol, the amount of fighters who could have come out and been like, "Oh, he made no excuses. He said Arthur won." So,
the thing is, it's just this robbery thing that's annoying me because it's so disrespectful to Arthur. Because it's like everyone has literally said, "Yeah, it can go either way. It's a draw. It's 1 point to Bivol. It's 1 point to Arthur BF, bit of it, whatever." But it's not a robbery, and just to say it, he's going to see it online every day. "Oh, I got robbed," and he's going to feel like, "Oh, well, I didn't do enough." He's going to feel a bit hurt by that. So I feel like it's a bit tight to do that. I feel like Eddie especially should just be like, "Look, 50-50 fight. Anyone could have won. Give it the best shot." Like when the Tommy and KSI fight. I don't know Tommy won, but afterwards Fury buddy dad came out and was like, "Anyone could have had it. I wouldn't be bothered if KSI won it. Wouldn't have been bothered if Tommy won it. It could have been anyone's. It is what it is. But Tommy won it, and let's go." Same. Do you know what I mean? Like bit of that.
Well,
bit of respect.
There's a lot of mental health issues within boxing. Obviously, every time Tyson Fury tries to retire, if you watch the Four Kings program on Amazon Prime recently, Frank Bruno talks about he's got bipolar, Nigel Benn, and how they struggle after the life of boxing to because he ends at such a young age to find the new calling. That routine and structure of training every single day is crucial. Do you sort of have a day-to-day schedule that you need to stick to, or
the gym? It's literally the gym. That's the thing.
You always like it in the morning as well, don't you? It's like
I want to feel like I've got something to get up for in the morning. I don't know. I get excited for the gym, so I won't want to. This is Bailey.
Big fan
big fan of the podcast. First episode.
No Name podcast.
The No Name.
Well, is he getting in shot?
Yeah, come on, Bailey. She'll get you in shot. Show everyone. Big boxing fan, aren't you, fella?
The dog knows as well. Touching on mental health, sensitive subject.
Hello. Hey, little boy. Right, go on, filming a podcast, fella. Don't start biting me now.
That'll get a few clicks.
Yeah. Click, right? Subscribe or I'll kill the dog. That's a joke.
Cancelled. Oh, I didn't take long. Nearly made it to the 15-minute mark.
Subscribe. Oh, I love him.
Wholesome moment, 2024.
Right. Listen, stop biting me. Stop nibbling me. Oh, right, this is it now. Right. What were we saying?
Well, we're touching on routine and.
It's hard to speak with this little thing biting me. What? Put you in your bed. What do you want? Well, say it, podcast done. Dog barking. What's that?
See you, Chief.
It worked. Right, well, again.
Yeah, talking about routine, how it helps with
Oh,
anxiety
right.
and depression.
Yeah.
etc.
Oh, here we go. First podcast onto this deep stuff, is it? Is that where we're at?
Well,
Right, well, without going
mental health
into...
awareness, what mental health struggles do you have?
Yeah, it was mental awareness week or day? I can't remember.
I think it was day, but you know, basically.
It was recent. It was recent. Yeah, I've had me issues with mental health. I don't want to go into. I've got health anxiety, so I panic about health conditions. Am I going to die tomorrow? It sounds a bit mad to most people, but it's there. So yeah, I've had me mental health issues. I found that it got better but when I started doing a few different things. I am on antidepressants. They do help me massively. I couldn't speak more highly of them.
Which one are you on for people who might...
Citalopram. A lot of people struggle with antidepressants. A lot of people, because obviously when you first start them, you can actually get backwards. You can go backwards a bit. So it's one of them what works for you. But personally for me, they absolutely changed my life. But equally at the same time, I started the gym and I started trying to eat a bit healthier. You can start laughing now if you want.
He loves his sugar.
Yeah, but no, I started eating more food and trying to eat better. Even though I eat a lot of
Talk about
rubbish.
your weight gain. To be fair.
Yeah, well, I used to be malnourished. I had bowel issues, let's say, so I couldn't eat properly, and I couldn't figure out what it was. Couldn't figure out how to cure it. And equally, as soon as I started the antidepressants and the gym, and trying to eat better food, that's when it all sort of got better. So it's hard for me to know exactly which one did it or what did it, but the routine, the going to the gym every morning, eating the better food, good night's sleep. Not that I do much of that these days, but I try. Honestly, I just getting that exercise, I think, is so helpful.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, obviously, I remember you used to have a lot of trips to A&E when your health anxiety was played up.
I still have the occasional here and there.
Sort of summit that sparked. I mean, you still go here and there, but it's not as consistent as anything you did there.
Yeah.
Or was that just the pills that sort of helped?
I think with me mental health condition, I think it's more how would I say it? It's more I'm preempting what's going to happen, if you know what I mean. I'm worried about my health. What's going to happen?
Always in the future.
Yeah, but in half an hour, am I going to get this disease and what's going to happen to me? So sometimes I see what's going to happen in the future. I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. I'm going to get anxious. It's going to happen. I better get myself prepared for that situation and go. Whereas I think since being on the mental health pills, it's just sort of allowed me to stay a bit more calm and push through it a bit more. So there's still the occasion where I have my issues and I do go, but I find it a lot easier now to, like, previously it was like, this is happening, you've got no chance, you have to go and get seen, you've got this up, you've got that up. Whereas now I've got both, I've got this, that up, and then I've got relax, you'll be fine. So I've got the ability now to combat it, but it's just
You're in the process of becoming a PT as well.
Yeah.
What sort of split do you do at the old gym?
One thing, mental health. What gym split do you do?
Ooh, touching on everything, aren't we?
Bit your subject, man. All right, fair enough. Well, deep conversation about mental health, right?
No, it's on it because, like, how often do you go to gym? How often you say that you train to help your mind? Is that every single day? Is that
no? Well, this is I struggle with fatigue issue. Honestly, I've got so many health conditions here. I've got low testosterone, so I struggle with fatigue issues. Be happy if I can get that sorted. Make the gains a bit better. But
and that's the end of this podcast.
Yeah, but no. What's the question?
How often do you need to exercise?
Right, I'd like to exercise a lot more than I do. So the current plan is 5 days a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, one day at the weekend, whichever, doesn't matter. Usually a Saturday. But we do. I can't train shoulders on the same day as chest. A lot of people, obviously, most people push pull can't do that. I just can't work my shoulders properly. So, yeah, I do back shoulders, chest, arms. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, legs, Saturday. I alternate between like a heavy and volume day. So I do like Monday, Tuesday volume. What?
Dog's biting
Oh,
my foot.
see. Bailey, yeah, Monday, Tuesday volume, Thursday, Friday heavy, so it keeps your body always guessing. It can't get used to one thing. Do you know what I mean? I've only just started that routine recently, actually.
Yeah, you gained how much weight have you gained in total then?
What, since my malnutrition?
Yeah.
What's 58.2, and last time I weighed myself, I was 79.2.
It's brilliant.
Something like that, sort of 21 kilo.
Yeah.
With obviously I was malnutrition because I had bowel issues, so obviously it's a lot harder to gain weight when you're in that position. So it's been it took me a long time to get to that point. But listen, I'm not the finished article. I've got a long way. I'm still got a lot of problems. You know what I mean, I still go up to A&E the odd occasion, but compared to what you are, you've got to sort of take a first positive, haven't you?
100%.
That's how it is, yeah. But yeah, exercise, gym, good food, water. Every time I don't drink nowhere near as much as I need to, but every time I seem to have a really good period, I'm doing well. It's when I'm tracking my water and drinking enough water, at least 3 litres a day. So I mean, I need to sort that out, make that better for myself. But again, when you're not hydrated enough, that causes a lot of problems. So honestly, things as simple as that as well. It can be it. But, yeah.
Feels like you're being pretty interviewed at this point.
It is, yeah. Right, come on. Mental health.
Aleastar Caesar show.
Aleastar Caesar, yeah. Right, come on. Let's talk about.
It's not just as simple as mental health. What, and I give my full life tell. Now I set you up perfectly with stuff. I'd asked you questions. I made it easy for you.
Right,
you just responded and went, right, mental health. What you want?
Right. Well, what I want to know is about your alopecia. How do you live with yourself?
Everything. That's what you wanted. I can touch on my experience with alopecia. In 2022, I got diagnosed with PSC, a type of liver disease that came out the blue after a set of bloods that came up as abnormal.
Did you have any symptoms, or was it literally just like
itchy
routine
skin?
bloods?
That was it. Itching my feet all night, itching my legs all night, making them bleed. Just non-stop itching, which is a common side effect with a dodgy liver, for lack of a better term. And then I had a little patch on the right side of my head for about 2 months that I was covered up with regular haircuts. When I got to hospital finally, when they wanted to do further investigations on me, it all fell out having a shower
out
of nowhere. Yep. Then that was for about 1.5 years. Yep, no hair at all. Then almost very bizarrely, alongside my liver issue, I started with minimal change disease and nephrotic syndrome, a kidney issue, and in a bizarre way, I would never have got my hair back if it wasn't for the kidney issue.
Really?
Because for the kidney issue, to fix it, I had to go on prednisolone. There we go. Got there in the end, and that was a long spell of about 3 months to fix the kidney issue.
You were on that for?
It was a very long time. Very long time. I was on that, and alongside that, I started with minoxidil from Salford Dermatology. She put me on that. Now we don't know if it was that brought my hair back, or if it was the prednisolone that brought my hair back, but going on them both at the same time, last May, if I'm not mistaken, May 2023, I was at a time where I was booking in hair tattoo because it stopped a lot of me day-to-day life, obviously. It made it hard to bloody date.
Well, I was about to ask that, actually. With having, obviously I mentioned my issues with my malnourishment and stuff, with my bowel issues and my mental health, but there's no specific, you've got this disease up here. What's it like knowing you've got, you get told you've got this disease? Does it make you, do you worry a lot more in life? Does it make it harder does it cause mental health issues to develop? Do you find it hard to live with that? Or can you just sort of push that to the back of your mind and keep living how you live? What's that sort of?
I think my anxiety and depression is caused by a mixture of life events and just a chemical imbalance of the brain. I think it's a bit of both going hand in hand. I feel like, I look back, I can't say it's all caused, obviously 15 had cancer and that. Yeah. I can't go back and be like, oh, it was that caused everything, because I remember being quite a socially anxious lad back at 15, etc. But then constantly having something to battle with. It's almost like the mental health battles were harder in a way, because, at least you're told with these health issues, right, this is the plan, you will get right. I mean, obviously with the liver disease, it's a very unpredictable thing. You go on Google and it says basically within 10 to 15 years of being diagnosed with PSC, a liver transplant will be required.
Yeah.
Now, you'll see YouTube videos of some people saying, oh, it might be 20, 30 years. Some people, I've watched a video of a girl on YouTube 3 years after she was diagnosed, she's ready for it. It literally is, I will go to Leeds once or twice a year. They will do a fibre scan. If that fibre scan's relatively normal, it suggests the liver as best it can be. Every scan I get a result on the back saying the disease is progressing, but it is expected. It's like one of them. It's like every year or two, it probably will get slightly worse. I can sort of delay it, obviously, if I went and bloody had 10 pints every single night for 2 months, putting in a liver transplant in a year.
So is it a Walter White situation? You just go for your scans until eventually it pops up, right? It's back.
It's one of them. It's like liver disease, having a liver transplant at maybe one point in life isn't necessarily a death sentence. You can have the liver transplant and then you could be normal.
Get another 20, 30 years.
It's a massive thing to have.
Well, you're 20. Get a liver transplant at 50. Brilliant. 70.
Well, yeah, but obviously
there's
no guarantee with that. I could need one at 25. I have no idea. It's very complicated. Like in the last year, I went for
How do you cope knowing that?
A fibre scan. It's weird. I often have like the mindset in the back of my mind of using time the best I can. I mean, sometimes I just wish like, with everything that's gone on in my life, I'd like to just be a bit more grateful and happy at times and not have this constant mindset. But yeah, sometimes I'll be like, right, you know, got to do this. I've got they're very bipolar at times. Like in 2 months' time, I'm going to move to Thailand for 3 months. Sometimes I think a bit irrationally, but I don't know if that mindset is to do with having health issues. I feel like, whereas some people say, oh, you've got time to figure stuff out, you've got your whole 20s. I feel like before I'm 25, being 23, I need to be in sort of a position.
So you've got it in your back of like subconscious mind, like that I've got this condition, this could happen, so I need to rush and get all this stuff sorted while I'm young, sort of.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whilst I have a period of time where this could be the best I ever feel in my life, I know it's not definitely that, but it just makes me think, you know, in the next 3 to 5 years. I still don't know what that is, but you know, I need to sort of find my passion in a way. Obviously, you spoke about the gym. I love boxing. I never really could go down a professional route. I don't think I'd pass a medical with a bloody dodgy liver. I like a bit of wrestling, you know, that's a bit safer. I could sign up to a bloody. Again, that's a big thing to become a professional wrestler. It's not.
So what's your thing then?
What
is your thing? What's your one thing where if you say tomorrow morning you could do this and make a lot of money?
Again, I wish I had the one thing. I mean, the people who have one calling in life, they put everything into it. Jimmy Carr with his comedy, talking about, you know, he write jokes 12 hours a day, he quit his finance job and he loved every minute. I'm very unpredictable at times. Now, I love the idea of self-development because even though I am very hard on myself, I look back 2 years ago, obviously alopecia in hospital and everything. Yeah. I'm doing well, you know, I'm in a much better job than I've ever been, you know. It's not necessarily my passion, but, you know, it's still...
pays the bills.
Exactly. It's still, you know, there was a time in my life where I couldn't even go to an interview. So, you know, stuff like that. But my main passions are sort of self-development and trying to help people as mental health. Very close to my heart, not just for myself, but for external issues as well.
How do you go into that then? Be a counsellor?
Other than that, I'd absolutely love interviewing fighters on boxing shows, etc. I think the plan would be to that. You'd have to build your own personal brand and then sort of reach out to every... There's thousands of them, Boxing Social, bloody IFL TV, you know, all of them. I just get so hyped for big boxing nights and being backstage and getting a word with fighters. I mean, I went to a show in Blackpool recently. Brad Rhea were there. There's nothing that could have stopped me going up to him with a microphone and having a quick minute chat. It's as simple as that. That's how you get noticed. But yeah definitely. Would you say then PT, and is that your calling or?
I don't want to be like, oh yeah, that's my fit, because it's like I'm not as obsessed about going to the gym and being a PT as an Olympic person is of doing some Olympics, but it's just I enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy doing anything else quite as much. It's something that I can see myself doing. There's
too much of an emphasis on that because stuff will always change. In 10 years, you might really want to be a postman. we don't know. Well, we don't know.
No, I just think that I don't have the ability to stop because I'm in this position where, like, with my I don't know what specifically has helped my mental health. I don't know what specifically has helped my stomach issues, my bowel issues, etc. Oh, hello, fella. There you go, little dog to
Dog's
keep,
getting its screen time.
yeah, keep interrupting. 2 minutes of screen time now, fella. Right, that's right.
Isn't it weird that I know that's a completely irrational thought, but every time you talk about your mental health, the dog comes to look after you.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, fella. What was I gonna say? No, I just don't have the ability to stop. I don't know what's caused it. I don't know what's caused the mental health. Well, not what's caused the mental health. I don't know what's caused the stomach issues. I don't know what's caused it to get better, both of them. But the gym has something to do with it. And every time I take a long absence out of the gym, straight back downhill. So I feel like I don't have the ability to stop. And I feel like, but because I was in this position where I was malnourished and I had this, right. So how do I say this? When I was at my worst, I was convinced I was going to die. Essentially, I couldn't eating 400 calories a day, throwing up every day, gone down to 58 kg. Some of the 6'3", like, you know, if a little woman out there, 58, that sounds lovely, but for 6'3" bloke, quite a broad frame, like I was severely ill at that weight. Not good at all. So I, you know, there was no sign of it letting up. I was losing more weight. I was getting too weak where I couldn't walk outside anymore. So it was getting to the point where I was like, right, this is it. I'm gonna die now. Sorry, that's not a. I had a cough. That's not. I'm not crying. What a shit timing. Right, come on, Bailey. You need a glass of water, don't we? Do a podcast.
Have you ever spoke to a professional? Like, have you ever gone down the therapy route? Did that do much for you or not?
We'll get on to that in a minute. We'll just finish this a little bit. So yeah, I was convinced I was going to die, and then obviously when starting the gym and stuff, I started to gain weight at quite a rapid rate at first. Because obviously when you've not got much weight on you, it's quite easy to pile it on. You know, it's like a
slow projection.
Yeah, it goes up quick and then slows down, doesn't it? So I feel like I've got this obsession with gaining weight. I feel like the more weight I gain, the more muscle I gain, like the further it puts me from that position. Because in the back of my head, I think I don't want to say I'm scarred by it, but I think part of me is just still a bit like, I'm still petrified of being back in that position. And because I haven't got like a definitive, like, you've got this up here, this is what caused it, this is what you can do to fix it. I've just sort of fixed it myself, and if I can't figure out how to fix it myself again, if it comes back, that's it. I will die this time. So in my brain, it's like as much distance I can put between me and that. So I think it is a bit of like a mental sort of thing there, subconscious, where I'm like still a bit scared of it. I'm still just trying to. I think the gym, like a lot of it, I do love the gym and stuff. I love the progress, but in my brain, it's a bit like, to keep going to the gym, this is what's going to save you. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit, and I think that's what's driving it a little bit, maybe.
No, does it feel like talking about that, getting off your chest? Is it help or?
Yeah. So the therapy, yeah. So I've always felt like I've tried a lot of different therapy over the years for issues. As I said before, I kind of know what's called mental health. You know, I've had a few losses in family, seen a few bad things and stuff. I won't go into that, but yeah, I've tried a lot of different therapy, and I just don't feel like anything has particularly done anything. As soon as I started the mental health pills, and I started the gym, and I started, you know, taking accountability for myself, that's when it changed. I feel like a lot, you spend so long like, oh, I've got this health condition, I'm struggling. Therapist will fix me. Therapist will do this for me. A lot of people don't be like, I need to take accountability for my mental health and do it for myself. I need to get a good night's sleep. I need to go to the gym. I need to do these things to help myself. You know.
Well, there's a lot of, I think sometimes mental health's too black and white. You know, you go to therapy, they've got set techniques almost to try and help everyone. You know, CBT. It's
a book. They're reading off a book. I mean, for everybody.
Obviously, pills have helped you, but you know, you could go to them with any sort of anxiety issue, they'll have a pill ready for it. Any sort of depression issue, they'll have a pill ready for it. And you know, obviously, it's worked in your case. I've had periods on what's the other term for Prozac? Fluoxetine.
Yeah,
that's the one. And I'd say there's been spells when I've been on fluoxetine and been really good, and there's been spells I've been on fluoxetine and not been great. So again, I feel like it's all is still on you in a way. When I think I was in such a dark place when I started fluoxetine, I can't say I didn't get better I think I did in the first few months. Maybe over time I got some sort of
That's
resistance.
it. When you go on the mental health pills, it's not just like, oh, you're cured on mental health pills. There's nothing there. All the mental health pills do is give me the ability to fight. Beforehand, I don't feel like I could fight the mental health, whereas the pills gave me the ability to fight it. So I still have to put the work in.
Well, as Jordan Peterson said, he mentioned, if you're in a really, really dark place, you've got to take them to have the ability to be able to fight it, to numb it for a little bit, to silence the darkness, so you get yourself in a position where you're able to work on yourself. Because sometimes you're in that low of a state, nothing can fix you. So
and as well, the having mental health as well, it's not always black and white as well. Like a lot of people just have common mental health conditions, just anxiety and depression. I don't want to say common in a bad way, but the more well known ones. A lot of people get them, and it's I would say it's easy to fix them. Depression's a horrible thing, but it's not having things like bipolar. You know what I mean? Like quite common ones. I forgot where I was going with this now. What was I going with it? What?
You got sort of any message for anyone,
Fight, you've got this. No, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of my point that I was trying to make then. It's just completely gone halfway through my point and it's just lost. I've lost it. Yeah, go on. What's next?
Well, sort of like we've sort of done our own tales. I feel like wrapping up is sort of like, giving strong advice to people who are in a very, very, very dark place. Obviously, this isn't a great week for me. Don't want to touch on it too much, but the inspiration behind this was on the 21st of October it happened. I found out on the 23rd of October 2023 that my closest friend from the age of 3-4, he took his own life, and obviously it's coming up to the year anniversary of that. It's a very sensitive, difficult subject to talk about. But I feel like it's the only way you can help people. If 8 people watch this, and in fact they take anything from it, if someone goes to the gym after this, if someone goes and talks to the doctor and gets on citalopram because it might help him, it needs to sort of be said. I found myself last couple of days, it's been on him.
Just reminded me of the point I was going to make, but I'll wait.
No, go
No, you're talking about a very deep thing
I think, there was almost like a level of guilt at the time, sometimes thinking, I've always been quite vocal, at least, about my issues, whereas, some people in that dark place, they just can't bring themselves to talk about it, do you know what I mean? Like, I maybe knew at times he had his sort of mental issues, but I didn't realise the severity at times. I sort of did, when we got together, we just played FIFA, we didn't actually... sometimes you don't ask people, do you?
You don't expect it, do you know what I mean? You don't wake up and... I don't wake up tomorrow morning and think, bloody hell, what if Cam kills himself today? I better, sorry to say it like that, but I better ring him up and make sure. And maybe people should ring the loved ones every day and check in that respect. A lot of people don't, but you just don't expect it, do you? It's not something you think about.
I'd say for a start, if anyone is in that very dark place, talk to anyone, because anyone would rather... you cry on the shoulder and go to the funeral, as Paddy the Baddy said. I'd always recommend a professional route. I know a lot of people, maybe in different circumstances will talk to a loved one, but it's good to talk to a loved one to start, but you do need to go to that professional. You need to have them checking on you. They make regular appointments.
I think this leads quite nicely into the point I was actually previously going to make that I forgot about. A lot of mental health conditions, people just think they're just common, that everyone gets them. It's just normal sort of thing. But there's different reasons to have them. Obviously, you can go through trauma in your life. You can have bad situations happen that can sort of scar you, cause PTSD, cause issues. But it can literally just be as simple as, like you mentioned earlier, having a chemical imbalance. A lot of people, the chemicals in their brain that make them function, there's an imbalance there. It can actually be a physical thing causing a mental problem. Which in that situation I don't want to throw pills down people's face, but they do help. As long as you find the right one, they can help.
There will be people who will not be able to describe. Some people will be depressed due to their life. They just don't like the life living. They don't like the character they're living. Yeah. Some people will be like, I've got everything I fucking want. I've got everything in life.
I'm happy.
But I can't put my finger on it. Yeah. I've got my misses. I've got all sorts, but they'll just still have that mentality. Ice cream man's here.
Do you want ice cream? That'll make you feel better.
Yeah, we're talking almost 40 minutes.
Bloody hell.
Are you wrapping up or are we going more?
I think we've got more to talk about.
Oh, here he goes. Well, what would you like
Right,
to
fellas.
talk about then?
We need to.
Females and...
Oh, sorry, that was awful of me then.
No.
Sexist, cancelled already.
You've been cancelled twice.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to kill your dog and offending every woman watching.
I knew I minded everyone about that. Right, so we need to wrap up the mental health basically. So I think you got it you got it spot on with what you said there. I don't struggle with depression really. My mental health's a lot different really. Obviously I've got my anxiety issues and stuff. But obviously you don't have to get punched in the face to know that it hurts. And depression, you can't think of anything worse really, can you? So if you are struggling out there with depression, like you said, you just have to speak to someone. It's simple as that. And it's not simple when you're in that situation, because sometimes it can be quite scary to speak to someone. But if it's someone you truly care about, a family member, partner, they're going to want to hear it. Do you know what I mean? They like you said, they'd rather listen to it from you than go to a funeral. And if you're not in that position to speak to someone like that, there's plenty of professionals out there who.
Well, the direct, there's obviously Samaritans, your 111s. Just I sort of get you're not a burden, you're not a nuisance.
It's normal.
There's that thing
it's
sometimes.
so normal for mental health these days. And it's bad saying these days because I'm surprised. I don't think mental health's just come out in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Mental health's always been there, but it's so normal. Everyone struggles with mental health time to time, and people would rather help you. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to see you struggle. So.
Well, we'll have a fist bump there.
Yeah,
and obviously you didn't want to wrap up, so what you've got more you want to talk about?
We'll have a nice little transition into a similar topic. Football. Depression,
He is the football man.
I should be saying that actually, because I'm doing quite well in the league at the moment.
Arnie Slot. Hey, actually, one little topic. If you want to touch on football, the next England boss. Who do you want?
We've already got an England boss, haven't we? It's an interim though, isn't it?
Right. So we've got Lee Carsley. Obviously, he's Irish. He don't sing the national anthem. He's got strong links. It seems like a very much he's good with the media. He's a safe pair of hands. It seems to be that people are thinking he's probably not the right man long term.
I don't like that though. England, because that's what they did with Gareth. That's why we've got Gareth there. We have someone take over who was in the youth academy and stuff. He has a good couple of games. We think, it's probably the safest option to just keep him in. I don't want that, and I feel like they're going to do it again. I really don't want that. I want them to just go for it this time. They've offered. I'm sure they've offered someone big. I can't remember the name, but it was like I'm sure they've offered someone big.
Well, the current headlines, you read any newspaper, and Pep is very linked strongly at the minute.
I just don't see that.
He came out in an interview, and he didn't rule it out. Yeah. He didn't rule his contract's expired. He does like a new challenger.
World Cup guaranteed.
You've got the strong links at the minute. A Pep, he's a German. Tuchel has been linked. What do you think about these sort of names? Eddie Howe has been linked. Howe, Tuchel, Pep.
It's a weird one. I don't think any of them guys will do it. That's the problem. I don't think Pep will do it just because I don't think they'll pay him what he wants. I feel a bit stingy like that. I don't really like Tuchel, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big fan of his.
Well, I think the thing is with Tuchel is it's definitely different. It's shaking it up a little bit. He's not a media guy. He gets very angry in press conferences. Gareth Southgate's the loveliest man ever. He's always going to be every interview. The press are going to love everything he says. Whereas Thomas Tuchel, he can be angry. He'll shout at players. That's what I'm saying.
We might need that. Something a bit different.
However you slice it, he's been sacked at most places he's gone. He didn't do amazing at PSG. Didn't do amazing. Well, he did all right at times at Chelsea, etc.
Well, that's the thing. Chelsea. I feel like the Chelsea one is a bit similar to the United one. Not the exact same, because I feel like Chelsea's a better team than United. Now especially, but back then they were a better team. But United, obviously, they've got the FA Cup, the Carabao, and every United fan go, Eric Ten Hag, he got the 2 trophies, so he must be got. That doesn't really tell the tale, really, does it? Obviously, a team who's got good players, a good team, they can get the one-off results. Well, that doesn't mean they're playing well. The league result will show that. And I think with Chelsea, when they won the Champions League, I think that showed that. They had a good team there to play in, but they just weren't playing very well, so they couldn't obviously get the league finishes. But obviously in these one-off games, they could do it. I just don't think that you can look at his time in Chelsea and go, "Oh, it was a massive success with that Champions League," even though that is a huge trophy to win. Why didn't he stay there? Why didn't he push on? Why didn't he get some decent players and go for the league title? Do you know what I mean? Like, what happened?
A big discussion has come out in relation to, obviously, Palmer didn't get the most minutes in the old World Cup. Euros, sorry.
Yeah.
My mistake. Is Cole Palmer England's best player currently?
Best player? Oh, I don't know. Who have we got? I'd have to think about the options, wouldn't we? Who have we got?
Your Bellinghams, your Kanes, Foden, you know.
He's the most on-form player. I think we can say that conclusively. Yeah, definitely. Whether he's the best overall, I think Kane's getting on a bit now, getting older a bit, so I wouldn't put Kane up there anymore. And also at the World Cup, I'm not saying he's a bad player, I just feel like a lot of our issues were he wasn't getting into the positions we needed him to get the goals. Euros, yeah. Getting into the positions we needed him to get the goals. The amount of times that I'd see a winger run forward and pass across the ball into the middle and he weren't there. And I'm like, that's a goal opportunity.
You were never Southgate's biggest fan, were you?
No, I wasn't the biggest fan. I just feel like I could see the issues with it. I feel like there was no progression. Like the what you saw when we first got him in, I was like, I just couldn't see it getting any better than that. He's performing at his peak. And he's not a horrific manager. Like obviously he's got us, you know, into semi-finals, finals. I just feel like someone else could have done a lot better.
I just view it a bit differently because, like, obviously we're the same age, but someone just messaged you, you're popular. I go back to the days where I was growing up, and I remember England not getting out of that group at the World Cup. But yet in the last bloody competitions, I've seen England now sort of become.
I mean, I get it. I 100% get it because, like, obviously you've got that thing now where it's like, oh, England's got this best ever team, but you know, you've got your Gerrards, your Lampards back in the day. You know, the older players. You know, you've got the golden generation apparently back in the day, and obviously they never performed. But I think it was different though, innit? But now all the players are best friends. You see Trent coming on and you know chatting to Foden and whoever else getting on. Back in the day, they didn't play because they hated each other. Well, you know what I mean?
Is that good for football? Is that a downfall? What's happened to the rivalries? Where's the hatred?
I don't know. It's a weird one. I think you need to know your time. So Liverpool and Everton, for example, there's never an issue there. If you look at Pickford and stuff like kicking off the last time we played, like it's never an issue. But I think when we went and played United, as much as we showed aggression on the pitch, like they were walking out like they're shaking hands, giving each other hugs in the walkout. So I'm not a big fan of that. A bit like what Roy Keane says, you need a bit of you can't go into an opposition's ground and start doing stuff like that. You do need to. I like it when it comes to England though, because I think that's the reason why we have done better, because we have got that, you know, the unity there. But what's your pick poison, isn't it? Would you rather your football team do better or your European team do better? Because I don't think you can have both.
Well, what do you currently think of the state of English football? We look in the Premier League, and a lot of teams are struggling to pick up points. It's going back to the days of a top half and firm bottom half.
Really?
You look at I think 6 to 7 teams didn't pick up a win in the first 6-7 games. Some are on them cards. I mean, Wolverhampton, they're on 1 point.
You say that, but Aston Villa have only been in the Premier League like 6-7 years or something like that, haven't they? And they've just gone and beaten Bayern Munich.
I think, yeah, well, they've got up now. They are a top 6 team now.
Yeah, but you've got a new team every year, so it's like a few years ago, Leicester was battling for top 4, and then you've got Newcastle getting top 4, and then you've got Villa getting top 4. You've got a different team like every year who's not the traditional top 6 who are battling out and getting into these spots now. So I think it's not like it's not just a one-off case either. Like it keeps happening. Do you know what I mean?
This year it's not going to bloody happen.
No, Villa.
It's going to be a surprise package this year. They got Champions League last year, Villa.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be their expected every year now. It's still Villa.
They've got a good crop of players. Now they've got the money from being in the Champions League. I think that there's no question they'll get top 4 again.
Newcastle couldn't do it.
Yeah, they have fallen off. I mean, they lost a couple of players. Yeah, they've not.
It is mental that, you know, that Newcastle can't buy a single player with FFP, yet Chelsea spent 500 million. It is mental. But as much as I don't want to see Newcastle, I mean I would because I don't like Man City, but as much as I don't want to see Newcastle just basically piss the league and spend billions, they do deserve to spend a bit more than what they have. They are getting shafted a bit, and they should be higher than they are.
How is your top 4 this season? How's it going to go in order?
What you think?
What do you think?
I don't think it's going to be any different than it is, you know. I don't think Villa's going to do it. I think Chelsea will do it. I've been quite impressed with Chelsea this year.
If I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, the bookies had Arsenal the favourites to win the league.
Yeah, no, I'm going to back that. I think you're going to say, "Shut up, you idiot!" It's City that do it every year. I think City are third favourites. I know that sounds mad, but I just they don't look on it, and I know they never on it at the start of the season. They usually kick on later on. But obviously that the Rodri thing is massive. Like last year, they just couldn't get a win when Rodri wasn't there. But as soon as Rodri was in the team, win every game. As soon as he wasn't there, they just couldn't. I think they like every game that he didn't play in, they didn't win, or something like that. I'm sure that's correct me if I'm wrong. So that's huge. Obviously, Pep's probably going to be leaving in a year or two, something like that. That's going to be in the back of their minds. And it's they won 4 in a row, haven't they? 5. It's never been done. That can't happen. So, well, 4's never been done, has it?
It's that City side.
I just feel like, and then you've got Arsenal and Liverpool as well. I feel like a lot of people are going to find this controversial, but I think this year's Liverpool's better than last year's.
He's doing a good job, Slot. He's doing a
We're not going to know until November, December, really, until he's got these big sides out of the way. But I just feel like Arsenal are the favourite, in my opinion. I just feel like it's been coming. Do you know what I mean?
So you think Arsenal first, Liverpool second, City third, Chelsea fourth?
Well, I'm going to go with Liverpool first, aren't I? It's me. Well, I'm a Liverpool fan, Scouser, born and bred. No, I wasn't born in Liverpool. But
born in.
Yeah.
Oh, you sound Scouse, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm one of them. But
armchair.
No, fan. I just feel like Liverpool. What are we? 4 points clear or something like that.
What do you mean we? I'm not.
Well, Liverpool. I'm sure, but unless City's won. No, City won, didn't it? We were on 18 and that, 17. But I could just see us just racking up the wins, maybe getting a win against Arsenal, just racking them up, just silently in the background. But even though we're at the top of the league, just no one's looking at us or noticing. And suddenly, in like a month or 2 time, everyone's just going to look at the league and be like, "Oh shit, I don't even know. It's Liverpool's about 8 points clear. Jesus, could they do this?" And then you know what I mean? I could just see it. Happening. Us just sort of going with it.
How does your connection feel to the club as someone who's not there every week? Obviously, it's very, very different. I'm a Blackpool fan, so I'm a League One supporter.
I do miss
it. I
don't
don't rarely watch
it.
us on telly. I mean, I watch like one game on Sky a year. If I want to see Blackpool, I'm going to go and see it. What is the difference in that? Is the connection still the same?
The connection's the same. It just feels a bit rubbish being in that position, because it's like when I went to like with the way you talk about Blackpool, the passion you have when you're at games and stuff. I don't really get that. I can't have that. You don't get that sitting and watching telly at home. But I did get that when I went to that game. Where, when I saw Trent, obviously it was perfect that Trent had the game of his life in that game. A Scouser, it was brilliant that. But yeah, and I never had passion like it. That when I went to watch that game, it was unbelievable. I do miss the fact that. And I'd love to go back to another game.
Breaking news.
I got a taste for it, So yeah, hopefully this season.
What, you think you'll get to a game this year?
I will get to a game this year. Yeah, I'm obviously in a stable job now, in a good position myself. I'll be able to afford a game this year, so I'm hoping to go to. It'll be after Christmas. It'll be one of next year's games. But I will go to a game. Yeah, definitely.
Are you going to thank our sponsors for today's video?
Raid Shadow Legend. Who else is there? The grooming kits.
Well, it made me laugh though when they were doing the Saudi announcers. They named some medical guy as one of this. It just made me laugh. Like sponsored by Martin Medical Centre.
Martin Medical up road.
Yeah,
Dr. Rashid.
Good doctor.
Yeah. Yeah, football. So what do you think about football?
What do I think about football?
What's your opinions on football?
Very broad. Now, I don't know if that's due to me being so
Blackpool and Arsenal
being so up and down mentally, but boxing has firmly was never my number one. Over the years, boxing has become my number one. I still love going to the Blackpool games. It's a shame, we're down to like 8,000 fans. We've got Steve Bruce in now, 10th in the league at the minute.
Have you gone down? You were fourth.
Yeah,
have you lost to?
Just lost to Mansfield, who were third. Lost 2-0 to Mansfield. So it's going to be one of those seasons. If we can get playoffs, it's great. But it's a good one going to games with lads, etc. I feel like my big love of football in general isn't quite there. I don't find myself. Super Sunday used to be massive. Like, it's Super Sunday. Do nothing on a Sunday. But I just haven't got that same burning fire to watch on. I don't know if it's I mean, you're a regular football watcher. Is football the best it's been for you? Has it dropped? What's your...
No, I'm going to say the same as what everyone else does. It's the pet factor. Everyone's just playing a bit boring now. Obviously, the aggression's gone, like we previously spoke about, so it just feels a bit sanitary, a bit boring. It just feels a bit NFL.
Sanitary?
So, yeah, how do I say it? Just a bit like... a bit clean. I don't know. There's not really much to it. There's not really much passion. There's not really much anger, much fight, much. It's just like watching a game of chess. Just after a couple of games, you get a bit bored, don't you? Not really much to it.
I've never heard football compared to chess.
No, but you look back in the day, it's like you get unbelievable goals from like moments of magic from players. You get fights on the pitch for aggression. Rival teams. You get fans storming the pitch and stuff when they win something. You get like huge moments. I just feel like it's just become a bit boring over the years, really. I think that's literally it. Football's just gone a bit boring.
Is that not just gone boring for you because Liverpool aren't winning the league now? Well, they're winning it every year.
No, but
they've dropped out the battle, haven't they? They're there. This season they could fight right to the end. Maybe it's going to be a really close.
But they're the third favourites, and there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, it's
between
gone from I mean, it was very short-lived. That dominance. You had that.
Yeah.
You were very much pushing City every year. And then obviously,
we had that for 5 years though.
It's hard.
And even now, we're still up there battling top three. We're still.
You do, but you never like compared to some of the other outfits. You never spend.
If you remove City out of the league, we're consistently the best team in the league for the last 8 years. I think if you move City out of the league,
that's a big what you remove. Fury Usyk
if Man City get found out for all the stuff they've done and they do get proven guilty, then we was the best team in the league for the last 8 years.
I think now we've spoke about Liverpool, I want to wrap it up about enough.
Nothing about Arsenal, have you done there?
I think City will win the league. That's where I stand on it.
It's boring being because when I'm looking over at like PSG, Bayern, Real Madrid and Barcelona, I'm not in them leagues. I don't care if they're it's not great for football, but at least in our league, it's like, I was about to say Tottenham, and bloody hell, they'll never win it. It's like, United could win it, then City could win it, then Chelsea could win it, Liverpool could then win the league. It's like Leicester pop up and win it. It's like literally like 5 teams that could pop up and win it. So it's like, that's why the Premier's always been the best league, because it's like, your league's all one-horse races, whereas ours, it's jeopardy, anyone could win it. But that's gone now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for the last... City, how many years have they won it on the bounce now? I can't see it stopping. I think if Pep stays, it's going to be the next 2, 3. Eventually, I think Arsenal will be the next non-City side to win it, because you look at it, there's a lot of youth in that team. They're getting better and better each year.
Yeah, but
I think that if this is the year, this or next, if they are going to beat them...
Yeah, but they just don't seem to fix the issues that they need. They haven't got a goal scorer. Any of the last 2 seasons, they've needed a goal scorer and they keep not getting it. If they go and splash out the money on a good forward, I think that'll put them over the line, and they don't.
I've heard sorts of works.
It does,
sorts
but
of works.
I still think you need another option. I still think you need that star signing, that forward. City went and did it with Haaland. Boom, league, pissed it, easy, 37 goals.
How do you feel nearly talking to me for a full hour?
Bloody hell! Is it?
A message for people if they're still watching now.
I know, yeah. Put in the comments if you're still watching. I love cats.
Yeah.
I
think we're nearly at an hour. Let's not bloody overdo it here.
Dog start.
We've touched on mental health, boxing, footy. We've done the bloody lots.
Yeah. So anything to close up on?
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. First podcast with a no-name podcast. We'll stick with that as well. No name. That's us. So it's been good. Peace out, guys. Lovely.
Take care.
Enjoy. No. We have to go for the hour. We have to stop on the hour mark. No, 50 seconds of rambling. Right. What's your opinion?
It's not going to be 50 seconds because you're going to go out.
Sports psychology.
I won't stop that.
Is it important in
My
sports?
brain now. It's got like.
Jokes, last minute jokes. Come on, to make
There's
them laugh.
only
Will and
pizza
leave.
that's easy to make.
Pizza piss, we've heard that one. What's Rajid's favourite sport?
I don't know.
Table tennis. Don't stop overthinking it. He likes table tennis. There's nothing weird about that.
Who's Rajid?
Oh, just some bloke from Afghanistan.
Right. Thank you all for watching.
Got any more jokes?
No, we don't need any more jokes.
I work for DPD. I'm not saying this on this channel. We want to get monetised.
Monetised, yeah, from the
Dying penis disorder. There we go. I've just pooped myself. Right. Anyway,
I need one.
it's been a pleasure, guys. Right. 3. I'll end it on the 3, 2, 1. Pleasure.